You are listening to the Bright Life Podcast, all about ways to stay inspired, chase your dreams, and find more gratitude in the highs and lows of the journey. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. I'm a business owner, a part-time digital nomad, a self-growth junkie, a believer in other big-hearted women, and am all about sharing tips, tricks, lessons learned, and encouragement so we can all live our biggest, brightest lives. You ready? Let's do this. Hi friends! Today I want to share more about how freelance copywriting changed my life. So this isn't really about me, it's about you. For those of you who are where I was a few years ago, thinking of leaving corporate America, wanting to, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to make money, so scared to make the leap. I mean, I have been there. I've been there in so many ways. And freelance copywriting, in the matter of a few short years, or honestly even shorter than that once I went full in, drastically changed my life. It changed the amount of money that I could make. It changed the amount of places I could go see and memories that I could have and the kinds of those memories I could make. It changed the kind of work I was able to do and the days I was able to have. It enabled me to be my own boss and to structure my days in whatever way I dreamed. And so, I just want to kind of dive deeper into what really changed when I became a freelance copywriter. So for those of you who don't know, the short version is I run a content marketing agency. I am a trained journalist. I've contributed to HuffPost, and for years and years I was in corporate America hiring freelance copywriters and on that side of things. And I started to just feel like I craved more. Like I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to see the world. I just thought there had to be more than like the 40-hour a week or more like emails and meetings and politics and like what was I working so hard for the promotions for. And so I dove into coaching kind of in the wellness industry because that's just another passion of mine. And long story short, it was like a very expensive winding route to eventually realize that what I was doing on the side to make money, freelance copywriting, was actually like the path for me, was actually the thing that gave me everything that I was trying so hard to get through this other way. And so I want to share 4 ways that it really drastically changed my life. I would say number 1 is the ability to work from anywhere. So as a copywriter, as someone who's been my own boss, I've been able to go to Europe to work from Amsterdam and Barcelona and Switzerland and the south of France, and it's just been amazing. And even South America, it doesn't even have to be Europe, right? It can be anywhere. I've been to Cusco and Lima, Peru, and Colombia and Rio and Argentina, and worked from all those places. And I've been able to get my work in on time. I've been able to get it in ahead of schedule and really craft my own day where I can work during the day and then go experience the culture at night, maybe go to dinner, or on the weekends take more of a tour. Once I took Wednesday off and went to the Alps one day, which is one of my favorite memories to this day. And so for me, as someone who just loves travel and loves seeing the world, that was everything to me, to have that in my life. Whereas I, before spent the majority of my time either in an office or even when I could telecommute and I could work a few days from home, I felt very limited by a few vacation weeks a year, by always still having to be on in some regard for that company, for still having to work the 9 to 5 hours, right, on their schedule. Nothing wrong with that. It was just I just wondered if there was another way that I could do this and still earn a good living. And it turns out that there was, and it was freelance copywriting. Because once I was able to do that, I really could work from anywhere. And I could I could go for months at a time and they weren't worried about me being in for one special meeting or being on for the 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 day. So that was kind of the one biggest thing that I think has given me just so many adventures in my life, so many funny stories, so many I love, trying the food and seeing the culture in places, and I have such a big list of places to see, so that was really big for me. On that same similar note that I touched on is like the spaciousness in the day. So I spent years and years like commuting 45 minutes or an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, depending on traffic, like each way into offices. And then you'd work like a 9-hour day. I would work usually through lunch, like go get something quick and just work at my desk, and then get home and be exhausted, right? And have it be 6 or 7 p.m. and make a healthy dinner and muster up the energy to go to the gym if I could at that point. And it just was such a slog, right? Like it was such a slog for something that I wasn't super passionate about. So I really feel like I'm a hard worker. Like I think there's value in hard work. If you're making enough money that makes it worth it for you, or you're doing a cause that you're passionate about, that obviously, like, there's work a full day, right? Like work beyond a full day, and I certainly have for my businesses. But when it was for something else and someone else, in an industry that I wasn't as passionate about, that was kind of a hard thing for me to like look at my life for 50 years and think about doing that, right? Over and over again. And I was always the person that, like, if you told me what it would take to get a promotion, like, I would do that. Like, you want me available at night? You want me available on the weekends? You want me, like, whenever? I'll do it. I'll do what it takes. But I kind of just started to feel like, why am I working like this hard just to get the next promotion, just to get more responsibility, just to get more emails, more commitments? And so I really think with freelance copywriting, all of a sudden I was my own boss, where I could work whenever I wanted to, right? And like I could still work a full day, but if I wanted to go have a half-hour lunch, if I wanted to go take a yoga class in the middle of the day, if I wanted to sleep in one morning and then work the rest of the day, if I wanted to work really hard on the weekend and have a few days off during the week, or I wanted to work in the morning and go sightsee in the afternoon, just the freedom to be able to do that and to define when I wanted to work and where I wanted to do it, to me, it just gave me more health. It gave me more balance in my life. Like, it brought down my stress, even if I was working a full workload because I wanted to. The ability to have that freedom and that spaciousness for me was like huge, was really, really healing for me. And the thing about copywriting is, like, as your rate goes up, right? Like as you get better at it, as you're able to demonstrate your value more, as you understand more of the strategy, as you book out with more clients, you can charge higher and higher rates. So you can charge $50 an hour, $75 an hour, $100 an hour. And if you're gonna work a 40-hour work week at $50 an hour, that's $100,000 that year. That is a 6-figure year. So as you start to charge more, you can either work less and have that freedom in your day, or you can work the same amount, but you make more so you can have more experiences and more enriching experiences in your free time, right? So you can really just create your day, and it's like, whatever is important to you. You might not be a travel person, but maybe for you, you have a family and you have 3 kids that you want to spend afternoons with, or take to Disneyland for a few days, or something, like take the afternoon off and go to the park. Like that, you get to decide, like you get to own your own destiny. And I think that is, like, to me, that's like priceless. Like that's like so golden. Another way that it really changed my life was it gave me the confidence that I could make money at any time. Like it gave me financial security in that sense, because when I was doing more of the wellness coaching business, I mean, it was kind of a crapshoot. Like it was kind of like I never really locked into exactly when the clients would come, right? Like eventually, the more successful I got after a few years, like I started to just find clients that might come through a referral, or maybe they followed me on social media for a long time, or had seen my blog somehow on Pinterest. But it wasn't like this reliable system for me. And so that to me kind of created a lot of unease, because I would have great months sometimes, and then I would have months where I made $150 total the other times. And that's not a great feeling, to be like pulling into savings or needing to take on business debt or whatever to build this business. And so it really it shook my confidence and kind of created some issues of scarcity there for a little while, until I found this freelance copywriting and realized, oh, okay, like I don't need to spend months or years like building this reputation as a coach and as someone in this industry. If I have solid work samples, if I know where to find clients, and I know how to pitch myself, all of those things, which I do know, and I can teach you as well if you want. I can get clients anytime now, within days. And so for me, that really started to rebuild that confidence there, where the only person that I ever needed was myself, my experience, my own confidence in my skills, and the brands are out there. Like, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of businesses, and they, or more, I don't know, are there probably billions, right? But the point is, they all need copy, and they know it. They all know that they need copy on social media, on blogs, on emails, on case studies, and their website. And so for me, it wasn't an issue of going and finding these clients. It was really just filling the gap and the need that they already knew that they had. And so to me, that was an amazing feeling. I wasn't necessarily ever having to convince anyone to take on a service or a product. I was just going out there and raising my hand when all the people out there saying, hey, we need copywriters. I was just okay, here I am. And then from there, again, if you're making $100 an hour or 75 or 50, you're very quickly able to pocket a few $100s or a few $1,000s every single week. And talk about security, talk about independence, talk about confidence in that ability, and talk about impact too. Once you're able to make that kind of money, you're able to take care of yourself better, your family better, your community. It's just your health, it's all around such a much better situation. And then the last piece that kind of relates to that, I would say, is the part that changed a lot as well is just that level of abundance, right? Because if you say you make $100 an hour, you've been at it a while, you have great clients, you've been charging more, you know how to position yourself, you know how to charge those premium rates, and you make $100 an hour, all of a sudden that's almost $1,000 a day. That's almost $4,000 or $5,000 a week, right? That's almost $20,000 a month. And so all of a sudden the world is really your oyster in terms of you can have pretty much every experience you want to have. If you want to travel, if you want to give back to your community, if you want to tip really well, if you want to do a holiday drive for people, if you want to send your kids to a good school, or you want to go to the expensive Soul Cycle class, not that's expensive, right? It's all relative. I'm not trying to throw shade at Soul Cycle, but if you want to do the $40 exercise class, your whole life changes. And I personally believe that good people do really good things with money. And so the more money good people have, the more good things that they can do. And so I just think that that level of coming into that abundance and level of impact that you can make, when you're able to pour your heart and your finances into the places that you see the most need and the most memories, the most experiences, it just enriches your life and everyone around you. And so those are really some ways that for me, I never take for granted. It's the ability to work from anywhere. It's the spaciousness I have in my day, with no back-to-back meetings, but I just need my laptop and my Wi-Fi connection. I can write and be good. It's the confidence and security knowing that I can always make money right away, that I can always get clients, that I can take care of myself in that way. And then the abundance of just what that kind of money means for you, and that you can always scale up and scale up and scale up. As soon as you are booked with clients, the next ones that come on, you have more experience, you are already full, so you can just charge more and more because you're worth more, and they recognize that, right? You have done the work, you've positioned yourself that way, you have more and more of a lens of strategy and more of a lens of how to edit and how to write, and so brands are so happy to have that kind of a partner and to pay for it, versus all the masses who may still be charging starting rates or in that starting part of their career. So for me, those are all the ways that I can think of that it's, some of the ways, honestly, that it's changed my life. That I'd love to know for you, if you do copywriting, what would be one of your ways? If you are in corporate America, what kind of way do you want your life to change most once you become your own boss, whether it's through this or something else? Just drop me a comment below. And if you are interested in what it might look like step by step to go from corporate America or a job to making 6 figures as a copywriter per year, then I'll drop some information. I'll drop a link in the description and you can check that out and reach out if you have questions. But Otherwise, I hope this is like encouraging to you and inspiring that your life can change in 90 days, that you can get clients right away, that you can have a whole different future. And for some, it may be like freelance copywriting. For you, it may look like something else, but kind of let me know where you're at and if you had any surprises in this.
If this episode resonated with you, I have 2 things you are going to love. One is a Bright Life workbook full of practices you can use to get clear on what your version of your brightest life looks like and fearlessly move towards it every day. And another is a copywriter starter kit full of beginning steps to create a copywriting business that gives you the freedom to travel the world working from anywhere, to replace a corporate salary as your own boss, and to do creative work that lights you up every day. It's lessons I've learned in creating my own content business, and I'm excited to share it with you if you're curious about doing the same. I will link these in the show notes. I hope these serve you. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you back here next week as we all pursue our biggest, brightest lives together.